welcome to Give 'em More podcast. It is your favorite host doing the most. You know I love the boast. I've been practicing on my radio voice, so it is a little deeper this year than last year. New year, new me, as they say. But anyway, I hope everybody's having a blessed 2020 so far. This is Give 'em More podcast. I am your favorite host doing the most, and this is another installment of the Supporters Corner. Now, I got on Instagram. It's Supporters Corner. I couldn't exactly get people to comment under the video, but I did make a post and got plenty of responses, plenty of comments. The first 6 or 7 people that commented, I decided to use their topics. Today is episode 3. It's brought to you by a good friend of mine. And this episode is issues affecting the black community. And this is a very touchy subject, but as soon as she said it, it's been something that was on my mind for a very long time. And I decided that that was the perfect question for where I wanted to go with this. Like I said, there's a lot of issues affecting the black community, but also keep in mind that there's a lot of things going right for the black community. So don't look at this as anything negative. I'm not going to go too into depth on anything negative at any point. It's all about how you perceive it, but what I want to focus on is what I believe is. I believe there's 5 key components to affecting the black community, and I believe I'm going to give you 20% of the real problem. And problem number 1, and that goes directly with this question to me, is the cultural aspect. I was on social media one day, and somebody made a post and said, what is culture? And it was aimed at all African American, black people, whatever you want to distinguish yourself as. And I didn't hesitate to respond. And my response went along the lines of, when you are the culture and you've been deceived to believing that you have to find culture, then that's when the problem comes in. I remember working at one of my jobs, one of my good buddies, Edwin, told me, I've been to the Dominican Republic. He was Dominican, of course. I've been to the Dominican Republic as a young kid, but let me be honest with you. I'm a Dominican from New York City. I'm American. So everyone born in America of color, of any race, you are American. Now, to understand the culture in which you live in, culture can be language, style, your slang, how you was raised, any of that. I always say I was raised in the country, so my culture a little bit different. You tell some people you used to walk down dirt roads, grandma screaming, put some shoes on and your feet gonna get big, and they look at you like you crazy. But in my mind, that's the culture that I was born with. Now, culture is an ever-changing thing. As you move on to different areas and explore different things, you can add on to or expand your own culture. So when I left my hometown of Dillon County, and I came to Charlotte, I added on to my culture. Like, my mind changed, but those humble beginnings stuck with me. So when people from here, from Charlotte or from other areas, because when you come to Charlotte is really like a mini melting pot. It's more people you're going to meet more people that's not from here than you actually are going to meet from Charlotte. So when you meet a Charlotte native like my boy Tony 7, it's like a unicorn. So when you start exploring, when you start meeting people, they're going to ask you, where are you from? I hear a lot of people from my hometown say, I'm going to say I'm from somewhere else, or I'm going to say I'm from near Myrtle Beach. No, I'm from Dillon, because I want you to ask me them questions. I want to see how knowledgeable or how ignorant you can be to the fact that I'm from a small town. And, everybody, you from one of them towns where everybody know everybody. All right, cool. But when you start exploring the world and you start going places, you start realizing that in these cities, everybody knows everybody. So you're going to meet somebody that knows somebody you know. And that's really how words get spreaded from corner to corner of a city, because you start interacting with people and you have friends. It's like social media. You may not know a person, but they popped up on you. You may need to follow this because y'all got friends in common. You don't know what this person experiences with your friend, just like they don't know yours. But when you meet, you hope that the stories match up, or you hope that if you're looking for something that they have information on this person that you may not have. So what is the cultural problem that affect blacks? It's that you don't understand you are the culture. When you are something, it's like they say in the past and back in the day, the greatest way to hide someone's gift is to put it inside of you. You put it in the sky, they're going to find a way to get to it. You put it in the water, they're going to find a way to get to it. You put it in a mountain, they're going to find a way to get to it. But when you put something inside somebody, 9 times out of 10, it takes them the longest to believe in themselves. So when you are the culture, but you choose to believe in your culture and believe in your people, that's when the problem comes. Because, see, society wants you to believe that in this country, compared to other races, there's not I would say that African Americans are outnumbered to an extent. So every time you see a crime, every time you see a stat, how is it about black people or people of color when you're not even the main race that populate this area? So every time somebody bring up a stat on black crimes, on poverty in the world, on this and that, the way it look, you would think that black people have more government assistance than any other race, but that's not true. There are races that have way more government assistance. I remember my grandma telling me in my hometown, the nurses got food stamp cards, but when you think nurse, you think money. You don't think they need government assistance. That's just how the system works. But when you are the culture, when you are the rhythm to this thing we call life, and that's what, in my mind, culture is. Do you have a rhythm to life? Are you 2, 4, 6, 8, or are you 1, 3, 5, 7? And if you don't understand that, cool. Understand that everything in this world has a natural rhythm. If you can't understand the rhythm to this world to process what's going on, then you are outside of your cultural means and you need to pull yourself back in. Everything you do, when you snap your finger, if you're around people that share likeness, that sound culture, I guarantee you can make music out of that. You can make sound out of that. What you don't understand is that there used to not be a spoken language, and they used noise. And since everybody was on the same page, and since everybody paid attention and listened and believed in each other, they created something. So for everybody that believes that the black community doesn't have a culture, what are you doing to create a culture then? It's either that or you leave the culture alone altogether, but you're going to come back to the same conclusion. When you are something, it's the hardest thing to see. So in 2020, we need to have that 2020 vision. We need to see things for what they are. When I look in the mirror, I see myself for what I am and what I want to be, not what I was and thought I was going to be. So I understand that me getting up here speaking, even when I'm scatterbrained, even when the thoughts aren't as clear as they was the other day, I need to get back to that 2020 focus, that 2020K vision of understanding that I am a culture, that I am a being. When we all branch out into our own households, we have our own culture of how we want our household to be. Understand that when you are a part of divine creativeness, you become a creator in your own world. We all have our own world. The only time our worlds cross together is when man, woman, and God meet in the middle and create child. So you need to understand that man and women and God gave the consent for the baby to be born. We always created through that process, so we all are creators in our own world. And that's the problem that I believe the black community have, is that we don't identify ourselves with the ultimate creativeness of the creator. It says, I am made in the image of God. That means you have the likeness of God. I don't care how you read it, what race you are, whatever you are. You need to understand that if you are created in the likely image of God, that doesn't mean you are God, but that does mean you are held to a higher standard. That does mean you have the power to create. So with that being said, everybody keeps speaking on the culture. Oh man, the culture is off. You hear people from the old days. The new people messed up the culture. Everybody pointing fingers, but they fail to realize that we didn't create anything of this culture. Now, the people that are coming up, those are our creations. But what we learned beforehand, that was our parents' creations, and their parents' creations, and their parents' creations. So when you talk about cultural ties, cultural curses, I don't believe in that, because I refuse to condemn myself to something that was created before I was here. I refuse to condemn myself to being I refuse to condemn myself to being a victim to everything that happens in this world, because you can play the victim anytime. When are you gonna be the hero? When are you gonna stand up for yourself? When are you gonna be the culture? When are you gonna help create a new culture? Togetherness should be our culture. Love should be our culture. But we too blinded by what we believe is a world with no culture, because you refuse to believe. I remember growing up in school, if a girl had nice hair, she was anything but a black girl. Now that has changed. Nowadays you meet more black women who accept what they are, and maybe at that point in time everybody was young and they thought it was cool to say, well, I'm part Indian or this and that. But just because you got good hair doesn't mean you are Indian, so to speak, or you this or you that. If you understand, if you want to be ignorant about the world, you think that blue eyes and blonde hair come from white people, when there's islands off the coast of Africa where everybody is born with blue eyes and blonde hair. Everything is possible through creation. But when you forget that you were given the power to create part of your reality, just part of it, you don't have full control. You have most of the control. You don't gain full control until you fully understand yourself, until you fully have confidence in your process, until you accept yourself as the higher being you are, the higher vibration you are, but also understand that you will never be above God. Now, with all that being said, I guess I gotta do a full episode on this, because I was about to keep going. Well, we already about 13 minutes in. These are quick segments. Supporters Corner. Please leave comments. I know somebody's going to disagree or even agree. If you agree, leave a comment. But everybody have a blessed 2020. I love everybody, and we're going to keep this going. Episode January the 6th. Enjoy the music. Thank you for tuning in. This is Give 'Em More Podcast. It's your favorite host doing the most. You know I love the most, aka Mr. Deep Voice. I'm out.
Let that beat drop. Let the stars align. Let that nigga shine. Oh, oh, now we putting it work. Oh, oh, I got these songs for the season. She wanna fuck at the seasons. I just be chillin', I'm freezing. I do not move with no trees. Shawty immutable, nothing stays the same. She changed it up like the seasons, and everything is all for a reason. So I just thank God that I'm breathing. I'm dropping the music that sound like a movement. I'm grounding and grooving to get you in tune, and I'm seeing it through that you love what I'm doing. So fuck what they doing. Now we putting it work. So she wanna fuck at the seats. She keep on playing around. She up then she down to start off the week. Bet my time is money, please don't waste that. I won't think twice just to give you back. To the left, baby, get your bags packed. I ain't just anybody, won't find none like me to do the things that you love like me. I got these songs for the season. She wanna fuck at the season. I just be chillin', I'm freezing. I'm not moving no trees. I do this for my dogs, living 6 feet under, who no longer breathe. So I don't need no other reason. It's really my life, ain't no dreaming. I got these songs for the season. She wanna fuck at the season. I just be chillin', I'm freezing. I'm not moving no trees. Shawty immutable, nothing stay the same. She changed it up like the seasons, and everything's all for a reason. So I just thank God that I'm breathing. ride it up. Dear God, don't let me down. When I lost my nigga Ma, that shit just had me down. Guilty, real talk, cause I ain't come around. My emotion burnt these bridges, what I'm gon' do now? Wish some things just stayed the same, lost love that can't be found. So I pray I make the change, the power's in me now. I hope you love me while I'm here before I'm in the ground. Before I'm in the ground, love me before I'm in the ground. What's in the past is in the past, gotta stay focused. Cause what's for me gon' be for me, thank God I know this. I ain't never took a loss and all my haters know this. Don't want yours, I want what's mine, our destiny was chosen. I just wanna see you shine, baby girl, you got this. And you may not love me now, but one thing I promise, when I'm up you won't be down, so just trust the process. Running up my queen and me for our family. I got these songs for the seas, she wanna fuck at the seas. I just be chillin', I'm freezing, out on that moon with no trees. Shawty immutable, nothing stays the same, she changed it up like the seas.